What's up, team? How are you guys this morning? Looks like Be Live is doing what it's supposed to do. I'm going to double check here just a little bit. As you guys know, we went to this forum, or this platform, I should say, last week was the first time we've had it for a while. It's disappointed us some, but let me just make sure we are over on Facebook. I know there's a little bit of a lag, but give me 1 second. I'm kind of manning it myself here this morning. There we are. Good. So actually, Chris's end's already up. So let me do this. I'll give Chris a little bit of privacy for 1 second. There we go. So as you guys just saw, we're going to have a guest on here with us this morning, but it looks like we're good. Everything is broadcasting. So welcome to the live, everyone. I'm not able to Facebook or Be Live just lets me see the comments. It doesn't put your pictures or your names there. So I'm not able to see what's going on from the comments and who exactly you are. But I know Bryce is on. I can see that right there. Bryce is on. Bryce is on a regular basis out in Canada. So nice to have you on. Kudos to you, Bryce. I know you were in some meetings last week, so that's awesome. Let me see who else is kind of in here. Let me see if I can recognize some of these other names. Alabama's here, so I don't know who that is exactly, but Arkansas, that might be Cheryl Ray. So welcome, you guys. Welcome, team. It is April 15th. You guys, there's a few hot buttons in my life, and taxes is definitely one of those hot buttons. And not going to get off into the weeds this morning on how our tax dollars are spent, but nevertheless, I think that people who are self-employed and are able to control their company's money just puts them in a better position. So yes, paying taxes is not pleasant. I will tell you, though, just a little perspective of traveling globally. As we were traveling globally, you start to appreciate the infrastructure that we have in Canada, in the United States, and some of these other countries. And of course, that comes from taxes. So not to say that all the money is spent wrongfully, but it's a big chunk of money for some of us. So little side note to start the call off. If you've never owned your own business and LifeVantage is your first business that you've owned, I would suggest that you put 20% aside of every LifeVantage check. If you'll put 20% aside of every check, you'll be in a very good position come year end. If you spend that money, you're going to have to find the money somehow, so that's not good. I would suggest that you take 100% of LifeVantage's money, because no one signs up in LifeVantage and does it full-time right out of the gates if they've never done it before or do not have a team. If you could take 100% of your checks from LifeVantage and set it aside for your travel money, for your education money with LifeVantage, how cool would that be? That LifeVantage would fund your own personal growth and education and development inside of network marketing. And when the time is right, then you've got that stash there. I know a woman that's out in California that's never touched one of her LifeVantage checks other than to set it aside. And she now has over $200,000 in the bank. She's never touched one check since she's been a part of LifeVantage. And I think that's amazing if you can do that. And I think with the right mindset, we all can do that. There will come a point in time, it did for us, where LifeVantage became our sole income. So of course you got to touch it. You got to live on it. But until then, put 20% aside for taxes for sure. And if you can, put 100% aside and use that money to grow you money making money, right? So just some thoughts there. Lead School was this past weekend. Learn, earn, advance, and develop. Thank you to all of the speakers and trainers that flew out all over the United States. I know we had people traveling all the way up to Canada that were from Louisiana, and from Florida to New Orleans, and New Orleans to New York, and New Orleans to Atlanta. We even had some guest elite distributors from Colorado in Atlanta. So it was a phenomenal weekend. I got some feedback already. I saw the pictures. Great turnouts, just amazing turnouts in our locations. Great feedback. I know a lot of you got trained on our compensation plan. Everybody that attended a lead school this weekend learned some tricks to how to make more money, because I know the trainers taught you guys on it. We had a lot of prep going in to the schools, and you guys that attended those lead schools, you know the comp plan now much better probably than you did before you attended the lead school. So the next one will be in September. The third Saturday in September is what we have slated for the next lead school. This one was a little bit different because of the Easter holiday coming up next weekend. We had lead school 1 week early, but it is never too early to start promoting the next lead school, and that will be in September. So look forward to that one being dynamic and being something that will help you learn, earn, advance, and develop at LifeVantage. So guys, let's jump into the meat of today's call. As you guys saw, I've got Chris Goodrow on. Every time I say Chris's last name, I have to laugh at myself because for I don't know how long, the guy let me pronounce his last name wrong without saying anything. Finally, he said something, because there was a Godrow in Tampa that was in LifeVantage, and I was just calling him Chris Godrow, and he's like, it's Goodrow. So and listen, I'm from South Louisiana, so it's a good thing I wasn't calling you Goodo, because there's a lot of Goodos in Louisiana. EAUX. So anyway, Thibodeau, Godrow. We got Chris on. Let me put your camera on, Chris. Let's see. There you are. You're on. There he is, guys. So he is live with us right now from Ohio. I don't know if he may not. He may be in Michigan. He's up in that part of Ohio where if you drive a few miles, you're in a different state. So I don't know if he's in Toledo. But what's up, Chris? Chris, can you hear me, see me, hear me? I see you. Let's see. Is there a delay? Chris, you got me? Can you hear me? Oh, wait a second. There we go. Maybe that is. Now can you hear me, see me? Oh, no. Chris, maybe. It looks like Chris is frozen. So I think Be Live. You guys that are on here, give me some feedback. Let's see. Can you guys, maybe he's coming back. I think I just heard something. I'm hearing a little bit, but the Wi-Fi is in and out there, Chris. Is that on my end? I got full Wi-Fi, so we should be good. Facebook still looks like it's working fine over here. So, Chris looks frozen. Everybody's saying, Chris, unfreeze yourself or reconnect. So we'll give him just 1 second, guys, to come on here. Chris is, I've known Chris for several years. We've traveled together and done some work together. We actually had the same professional background before I got into LifeVantage. Chris is in the car business like I am. So we'll give him some time to jump probably back on this thing. Let's see. Ben saying drive to a stronger connection. Everybody's trying to help Chris out this morning. So anyway, we'll give Chris a second to try to, we'll come back full screen here until he's able to come on the line with us. So anyway, we'll talk about the app, something I was going to talk about after we got off the phone with Chris. Maybe he'll come back on. I just saw him kind of disappear there. So what I'm going to do, all of you guys that are watching this, probably most of you are watching this right now from your cell phone. And now that I know the live is working just fine, I'm going to come out of the Facebook Live. And I want you guys, if possible, if you're driving, obviously it's not possible, but if you can, let's see, I don't know if you can do this from Facebook and then open another app. I'm not sure if you can or not. But we're going to talk about our LifeVantage app for a second. And then for those of you who can, I would love for you to be able to open up your LifeVantage app. If you can't, without leaving this Facebook Live, I was trying to think about that. So if you're on a laptop, obviously you can. If you're on your cell phone, you may not be able to. So I don't want to lose you guys. But I want to talk about the Facebook the LifeVantage app for just a little bit this morning. As you guys know, the app was created to help us make money in its most simple form. Ryan Goodwin. Yeah, it is Goodwin. Too many G's. Here comes Chris again. So let's see if he's going to be on. He's coming back on, so I don't know if Chris, you got sound there?
I have sound. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. I can hear you. So
I don't know what happened there.
Now that we've got him, I'm going to stop the app conversation. We're going to jump back over to Chris. Let's see. There he is. Do a sound check for us.
Check.
You gotcha. Everybody was trying to help you out. Ben's like, Chris, drive to a place with better Wi-Fi.
That's crazy. I've been sitting in the same spot. I talked to you how long, and it never went off. So yeah. But anyways, I never told you what my pronunciation of my name was because I was afraid of you.
Afraid of me?
Yeah. Once we warmed up, I was like, okay, I'll let them know.
Once I made a couple trips up there and we ate some hot wings together or something. You're like, hey, buddy, it's not
God. Yeah, that's what it was. Well, your story, my story are a lot alike. You know how we started out. You started out marrying someone very young, like I did, and we were kind of in the same field. And now here we are in LifeVantage. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, when I heard your story, I think it was in Nashville. I don't know if Nashville is where I met you, but I remember being at a restaurant. The team had put together a dinner there, and I was invited to go meet with that team. And we got to talking about what you do, and I'm like, dude, I know what you do. I know making the list of repairs. I know going into the manager. I know trying to hustle that deal because that's what I did. And it's one of the reasons that it's what drove me to make the sacrifices necessary to build this business is how much I hated making that list. Or making the list wasn't the problem. Going into the managers and getting the list approved and that whole, dog and pony show and how those managers made me feel as a human being just drove me insane. It drove me absolutely insane. It drove me to do network marketing. That's what it drove me to do. And I know you have the same desires as well because Chris runs, he's part of a company that I think they're the biggest company, if I'm not mistaken. So when you get dents in your car, Chris's team can pull those dents out without going to a body shop and without having to paint the car normally, unless it's a huge deal, right? And so obviously it's a lot cheaper to pull a dent than they go, do body work and paint a car. And so I bet you guys do millions of dollars in revenue.
Oh yeah, we've actually expanded into paint, wheels, and interior and all that stuff. So we're kind of like your one-stop shop now, and we're kind of putting that all together because, believe it or not, we are the biggest when it comes to that, but we only own like 10% share of the market, and we're the largest. So of course, like us at LifeVantage, we want to push because we're so early in it. It's kind of the same with this company. We want to push for that more growth. So the pressures of adding more growth and crazy expectations and percentages is getting out of hand, and that's why LifeVantage has got more of my attention now because I'm honestly done dealing with that stress.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk to you about a story that developed. And I know we got the core value, and I'll come back to that maybe later because of timing with the technical difficulties today. But you guys, I was talking to Chris last week just about business and doing some prep and planning and stuff. And Chris mentioned to me a story about a guy that came on as a customer as a result of a specialty webinar that we did. You guys may remember, I don't know how many months ago, we did a specialty webinar. We did a campaign around inviting people to hear about our pet products, or Pro Tandem or Pet Tandem for pets. And we had Cheryl Ray on from Arkansas that has been around animals her whole life and has had a championship, Dobermans. She's such a resource. We had Bonnie Heath with horses. I think there was some others on that call. I can't quite recall right now everybody that was on there. But Chris, I wanted you to share with them what kind of business you have been able to build from that one webinar. So kind of tell the story a little bit.
Yeah, so like all of us, we like to share with our closest friends and family members first. And some of them will look into it, and they'll become customers or distributors, and some of them just won't have anything to do with it. Well, I have this one buddy that I see constantly all the time, and of course I've introduced him to Life Vintage and the products and what we have, and he's young, and he's just like, hey, my life is what it is, and I enjoy it. So thanks for your offer, but I'm going to pass. So of course I talked to him about the products, and he didn't have really any interest in anything. And come to find out, this guy was really sick, and he wasn't telling me. You could look at him and just see that maybe he's tired a little bit, but for the amount of things that he was struggling from, I'm really surprised that he didn't give this a chance earlier. So he's real big into his dogs. He loves his pets, as do a lot of our customers. They'll start with their pets first before they try it themselves. So I said, okay, you know what? He's really into training dogs and bird dogs and fetching the birds for him. So why not throw him on this webinar to show him just kind of the level of stress the dog goes under, and see if he'd be interested in the Protandim for his dogs. And it sparked his interest. It kind of was his pain point. More of his passion was the dogs. And so after he got done watching that webinar, he didn't buy it for his dogs. He bought it for himself. And I was kind of surprised by that. All this time, over a year, him knowing what I do, exposing this to him, nothing. But as soon as he sees it from the standpoint of animals, he wants to take it all of a sudden. And then he starts to let out what he's been doing, struggling at the doctor, bad stomach pain, very tough for him to go to work, been sick a lot, allergies are really bad, and they put him on a lot of supplements, and he wasn't able to get better. Fast forward to Protandim, 2 weeks on Protandim, all of a sudden things start to change. And it's kind of funny because I told him to take it over the weekend. We know that there's some sort of, toxins in the body, and your body's going to release those. And it was bad. He text messaged me. He goes,
"We got it. We got it. We're getting the visual. We got it."
Yep. He's like, this is just crazy, and I'm starting to worry. I'm thinking like, oh great, he's gonna freak out. Well, his wife was freaking out, but he goes, hey, I've been to the doctor how long now? For 6 months, and nothing has ever made me do this. So I know it's working. I'm gonna keep staying on it. And it's a good thing he did, because after 2 weeks, all of a sudden he started to change. Then after a month, his body really started to react in a different way, where he was really starting to get healthy. And the doctor even was mentioning, hey, things are better. The blood work looks better. You seem to have more energy. Everything seems to be going good for you. What are you doing? And he kind of told him, and like every story, they don't really believe it. So he stopped going to the doctor. He stayed on it. Well, everybody at work all of a sudden started to see the change in him. And that's where this business of word of mouth really starts to hit, because not only did it go from a $40 bottle of Protandim, but everybody he works with got on the product, and now there's about $475 worth of product coming out of that one body shop that this guy works in.
So I didn't know that about the story. I thought that he gave it to his animals and then he saw improvement there, but it was the interest in his animals that got him to watch, and then he decides he's going to start taking it. His health improves. Yes. And so now there's other people in the body shop that are using products, right?
Yes, it's now grown from $40 to $470. So every month I started seeing an increase, and I remember telling you one of the guys had $350 worth of orders, and I'm like, he must have added something in and then forgot to take it out, because I think it was the hair care. Because for a guy with really short hair, it usually will last 2 months. So I thought, oh, it triggered over again, and so I called him. I said, hey, your total kind of alarmed me a little bit. I said, I'm trying to be a good business person here and just let you know that if you order something for a month, but then you have extras, you can keep it. Yeah, but if you needed to change that, you might want to switch your auto ship. He goes, no, since I work in that body shop, I wash my hair 2 to 3 times a day for all the stuff that gets in it. So I go through it and I need it. And he goes, I love the product. He goes, I'm on the activated essentials, and now I'm on the hair care. And he goes, my hair's even kind of coming back a little bit better. And he's like, so people are starting to notice that. So there could potentially be a lot more coming from this body shop, because now even Derek's upgraded to adding Nerf 1, and he says his body's been getting better, and now he's talking about the probiotic. Now he's talking about getting his dogs on it. I mean, there's going to be over $500 of volume coming from this just because of that one webinar, introducing it to his animals.
So, guys, the point is this. Whenever if you're inviting to something that is appealing to other people, they're going to get on, right? All of this happened because of a specialty webinar that we did. All right. And we call them, when we're planning them, we call them campaigns. We don't call them specialty webinars. They're just listed as a specialty webinar at our YouTube channel. So if you guys want to take advantage of the exact webinar, it's at our YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure it's categorized as a specialty webinar with pets and animals or horses. And you'll see the exact one that's landed Chris now close to $500 in extra PV. It's a great webinar. Here's my point. You as a distributor should be working these angles every month. You should be inviting, if you're a mom, maybe you should be inviting to a mom type angle, right? With webinar, a specialty webinar that's geared towards moms. Or if, like for Chris and I, like it's April 15th. Why not tonight or tomorrow? Tonight might be too soon for you because there is another webinar that actually I'm going to be doing tonight. But why not do a webinar just for business owners? That way you can make a new list of all business owners and go, listen, you just need to be on this webinar tonight. You own a business. You need to hear what these business owners are doing, right? And so it's our business is based on just a few things that you're doing, right? Number one, we've got to be inviting people to information for them to be able to say yes or no, right? And secondly, if you're inviting someone to an event, if you're a good promoter, so if you're always inviting people to something and you're a good promoter, which they kind of go hand in hand, right? Your business is going to grow. And being able to promote something, usually if you're going to be good at it, you have to come from a very authentic place, because Chris would have never got this guy on that webinar if Chris wasn't coming from a very authentic place. Now, how did he get there? Chris's belief is high on the product. He knows that if these animals started taking the product, that their health would improve. How does he know that? Well, he's been around Life Vantage. He knows the products, maybe even personal experience, right? And so what I want you guys to do is be very intentional about your month and how you go about getting new customers and new distributors. And so you may say, well, no one's got a specialty webinar lined up for this month. Guess what? Do one. Be the leader. If you're a brand new person, I understand it, right? But somewhere in your support line, and I would say that, definitely by Pro 4, you should be looking at being the one doing it for your team. If your team doesn't have a Pro 5 or Pro 6 or Pro 7 or so, doing these specialty webinars every month. There should be a specialty webinar or a specialty campaign. If not every month, definitely every quarter. Jim Rohn talks about seasonal campaigns. You guys know right now that I know it's still April, but for most kids, May or early June is the months where school starts to end, right? Either sometime late May, early June, school's over. Well, guess what else is also over? The employment for school teachers, right? And Jim Rohn talks about the power of bringing school teachers into your business. So why not plan for that? Why not plan for a campaign for the summer? Maybe it's a campaign of how to earn some money for summer vacations, or how to help school teachers make some extra money. You can be very creative. We've done it around losing weight. We've done it around pets. And we're going to continue to do these type specialty webinars as a team. But don't wait for your team to do these. Be the leader and start doing them yourself if someone's not doing them. And like I said, it's usually around that Pro 4 rank, but don't let that hold you back, guys. If you're a Pro 1, you're a Pro 2, or you're Pro 3, and you like that idea of having a specialty webinar to invite to, it could be mom related, like I said, dad related, April 15th related, whatever. It's just something that changes the invite. Okay, Chris's invite was a little bit different. Chris, you're still on. How How long had you been inviting this guy to take a look at LifeVantage?
It was over a year.
Over a year. So how many times do you think you addressed it with him in that year's time?
I don't like to get on him too much. So, every couple of months when I would go out into that region, I would always walk in the body shop, stop in, see how everybody's doing. I'd mention it, through, to him when I was in there when we were talking, and told him how, you really should be taking a look at this, especially I kind of told him because of everything that you're breathing in and everything you're taking in, and how that's damaging your body, you really need this product. And, I would make little jokes every time there'd be like fumes coming in. I'm like, yeah, smell those fumes? It's damaging your body, man. You're 20 some years old. When you get to be 60, 70 years old, you're going to regret that. I said, I know, because I know what my dad went through. My dad was a painter, and the coughing and the struggling and all that stuff, it's because it really starts to affect you.
So it was a year of inviting, joking, kind of, kicking the can down the road. And then this specialty webinar comes up, and you saw that as an opportunity, like, hey, like the light went off, like, hey, this guy's got dog, right? And so that's the point, guys. That's the point. Chris, I know you got things to do. I don't want to hold you up any longer. Thank you so much for being on here, man. I appreciate it.
No, thank you. Thank you for your time.
All right. Have a good day.
Yes, you too.
So guys, that's the point in doing these specialty webinars, and it goes hand in hand with core value number 5, right? Core value number 5 is that we are solution seekers. We keep the paddles in the water. Well, so if you're a solution seeker, that means there's a problem, right? That you don't need to seek a solution unless there's a problem. Well, the problems can be vast. The problems can be, I haven't enrolled any personal customers this month, or in a few months, I haven't enrolled any distributors. That's a problem. So if that's happening in your group where you don't have enough customers coming in or enough distributors, or you want more, then we've got to find a solution. Well, what's the solution? The solution potentially is what we just talked about. What about doing a specialty webinar for your group, getting them excited to go invite a little bit differently, or getting them to follow up a little bit differently, right, than they did the previous month or 2 months or 6 months? That's all Chris did, and it's led to an increase in personal volume, right? So that's a great example of how we stay in solution mode and we keep paddles in the water. You want your team inviting, you want your team excited. So if the same old invites kind of worn on them, or they're just feeling like you get the feel they're not presenting the way they were, why don't you throw a bone out to your team? Give your team something to be excited about. Call some of your leaders and say, hey, what would you like to have as a specialty webinar? Weight loss or whatever. I'm not going to run down the list, but you get the point. So anyway, I hope that information helps you guys. Let me jump into this app thing, because this is awesome stuff, guys. Awesome stuff. Every leader I've shown this to, they're like, what? So listen, I know the app is not exactly where it needs to be. I know. And let me tell you this, the two Ryans, Ryan Goodwin, our chief marketing officer, is an amazing dude. He understands what you understand. He's smart, okay? He knows the app is not where it needs to be, but he also knows the app is our future. Apps are our future. There's no getting around it, guys. It's just, guys, Facebook is an app. Without the app, there's no Facebook. Uber, without the app, there's no Uber. Did you guys know Uber's about to go public? Their IPO is going to be around $100 million valuation. 100 billion with a B. What am I thinking? $100 billion valuation, and it's an app. All right. I've kind of got a vision for where this app is going to lead us, and I'm working with some of the other leaders in Ryan. But here's something that's already in the app that will make you money this month. Okay. Well, the auto ship has to run, and I'll get to it. Here's the deal. So you open the app. I'm going to open the app right now so I know exactly what I'm telling you right correctly. I'm opening the app right now, and you get a screen that kind of looks like that, right? And the bottom one says me. So click me, and it's going to bring up your numbers. Now, you'll already notice for some of you, something's different. The bar graphs are not there anymore, right? It's a little hard to read, and they kind of rounded the numbers. And for us, it was really hard round numbers, right? But now they're not round numbers. It's down to a decimal point. And the first thing you're going to see is today's numbers and then last month's numbers, but you're going to see a red or green box. A red or green box, or I'm calling them lights, right? Red light, green light, right? Scroll down a little more, and now you're going to see your organization, the volumes and the percentages of what those legs represent to your entire organization. That is an amazing tool for rank advancing. Okay. But let me go back to the light. Okay. I happen to have, I don't know if you can see it, I happen to have a green light on mine right now, which is pretty cool, right? What's that mean? It means that Lynette and I's PV is higher right now at this moment on the 15th of April than it was the 15th of March. Okay. Our PV is up. Here's a question for all of you. Okay. I know like Bryce is on here. I think Jessica Crate. I'm going to use Jessica Crate for an example. And Jessica Crate was over in Albany at that school, Lead School. That was so awesome to see you out there. I'm sure they got great value. Thank you for being out there. But here's the deal. If Jessica Crate, if every distributor in Jessica Crate's organization opens their app and their PV is a green square, if they get a green light, if every distributor in Jessica Crate's organization has a green light, do you know what? Jessica Crate's checks going up. It is virtually impossible. I don't know a scenario where it is possible that if everybody's PV is up, where Jessica's check would not go up. Okay, because it's how we make our money. We make our money on product sales. PV is your personal volume, but it's also someone else's organizational volume. Okay, and so when PV goes up, you make more unilevel money. I'm just going to tell you, if I was you, I would run an incentive this month with that tool. It's so simple, right? It's like, show me the green light, right? I think that's a Pit Bull song. If you've got a green light, your organization's growing and it's making more money. If they're red, it's very simple. Go out and get more PV. How about, this is why I decided to tie these together. How about that on the 26th, you have your entire team checking that red light? Well, they can check it now, but start an incentive that starts on the 26th. Why the 26th? It's because auto ships are kind of crazy. Some people's auto ships don't run on a certain time every month, but by the 26th, everybody's auto ship has run. All right. You will know if your light's red or green for real at that point because there's no more auto ships. Right. And if it's red, you have 4 or 5 days or so, depending on the month, to get your light green. Right. Well, how do you get it green? You go get more customers. So here's what I want you to do. Why not right now as a team or a team of leaders? Why don't you guys go out and get a specialty webinar put together for sometime after the 26th or maybe right about the 26th, right? And do that webinar so you get your team excited, inviting to this webinar, right? No matter what the topic is, with the goal of getting more customers. It worked for Chris. It'll work for you. And that's how you become a solution seeker, by saying, okay, here's the problem. Here's the solution. Here's what we're going to do, right? And this red light, green light thing is so simple. Here's what I would do if I was you. I'm not you, but if I was you, here's what I would do. I would get with my team and I would put an incentive together. Like, show me the green light. So it's a screenshot, right? On the 26th, start screenshotting the back office. So if you've got a green light on the 26th, it means your PV is up. And you need to celebrate that. If you've got a distributor whose PV is up on the 26th, celebrate that. Make a big deal out of that. Because if everybody's PV is going up, your check is going up, and your organizational volume is going up. It is so simple. If I was you guys and you want a fantastic close to April, that's an easy one. Open the app, and I'm just going to tell you guys right now, you need to get your teams using this app and being familiar with it. There's a lot coming from us with this app because there's more amazing things coming from the app. There's some things I can share I'm going to share with you guys soon about the app that we're doing that is a game changer for the app. It's not where it needs to be yet. And when it is, you certainly will know from the leadership of Team True Blue. But this tool with this red and green light, guys. Also, when you're in there, if you just swipe to the left, it shows your organizational volume. Okay. Oh, look. Oh, look, Team True Blue's up. Another green light, guys. Another green light, right? And here's the thing here. That's the close of today. So we're like kind of way up. So I don't want to get into the details because I know our time's running short. But now you get to track your business. I used to, and a lot of leaders had to go in and kind of track this and do add and subtract. And we would track it on paper and on spreadsheets. Now the app is doing it for us. I can just turn in here, swipe left, and right now I know I'm up. My organization is up over the month of March because I've got a green light. And if you touch the green light, you'll get a percentage too. So you can either see the exact amount of PV to the cent or organizational volume to the cent that you're up or down, or you can see the percentage amount up or down. It's amazing. It, to me, is one of the easiest incentive programs I think you could possibly ever run, a campaign in your group. Show me the green light, screenshot it, put it in your social media feeds, in the private feeds, not your profile feeds, in your private feeds, so that you can celebrate these wins together. And at its most simple form, guys, that's our business. As we bring in more customers and more people use the products, people make more money. It's really that simple. No, that's not how you grow a dynamic global business with customers, but customers are a major part of your success. You have to have distributors. You've got to have that leverage, that multiple piece. Customers will grow your business by addition. Distributors will grow your business by multiplication. So I love that. If you got some questions, hit me up on that so we can help you guys understand that a little bit more. And guys, the last thing I'm going to leave you with, I know we're a little bit over on time, but I think you guys will enjoy hearing this. I made a post last week that it's what you learn after you know it all that counts. Okay, it's what you learn after you know it all that counts. What's that mean? It means you are a student for life. If you're smart, you're a student for life. And I'm here to tell you guys, growth is not automatic. Living, I mean, you don't control that, right? Like you're gonna live automatically, but you are not going to grow automatically. That's something that you have to be intentional about, right? And most people are trying to find leaders when they should be trying to develop leaders. Okay, stop trying to discover leaders and go out and develop some leaders. That's my advice to you. And the way you're going to do that is by being a leader yourself, by being intentional with your own growth and trying to figure out, hey, where are my growth moments today? What are moments in my day where I'm going to grow? Hopefully Monday mornings or Monday at 12 Eastern are some of those moments where you have an opportunity to grow. That's one of the things we try to do with this Facebook Live is give you some mindset stuff, some personal development thoughts, right? So I'm hoping that this is one of the moments out of the week where you can grow. But maybe you've got a lunch later today with some business people. That might be a moment where you can grow. Or how about scheduling some time where you are digging into personal development? Guys, this business, I'm going to tell you right now, yes, it's about Nerve 2 activation and getting customers and getting leverage and growing a scalable business that grows on the compound effect, right? Of people knowing people. But ultimately, what this business is a personal development business, because there's no way you're going to make thousands of dollars in this business unless you help a lot of people. And in order to help a lot of people, you've got to be in a place where you can help them. Like if you're exhausted every day and you just don't have the energy to make phone calls, how in the world are you going to lead a team? How in the world are you going to help thousands of people if you're not helping yourself? And so I'm encouraging you again to be very intentional about your personal growth, right? Growth is not automatic. Life is, but your personal growth is not. You've got to be intentional about it. And listen, you're going to reach a point in your life where you think you've got things under control. And it's the people who realize you never are done learning, you're always needing to grow, are the people that are going to be able to pour value into others, lift them up, right? The saying is you can't lift someone up onto higher ground unless you're standing on higher ground. So I want you to be intentional about your growth, guys. And then I want you to pour that into your team this week. I want you guys to be intentional about these campaigns with these webinars. Give your team something to be excited about so they can go out and promote like crazy. You provide a webinar that they're excited about. We can get everybody's PV up, which gets everybody's checks up. That will make everybody happy coming into the close of March. So let's have fun with this in April. I hope you guys put out an incentive with the red light, green light. Show me the green light, screenshot it. Let's fill up Team True Blue's Facebook page with screenshots of green boxes from their app. That would be awesome. So hope you guys enjoyed today's live. Sorry for the little bit of technical difficulties, but it looks like B Live's happening. It would be nice in the comments if you let us know you're getting this on replay. It would be nice in the comments if you give us some feedback on Be Live if it's working for you guys. And we'll talk to you guys this week. Y'all have a great week. Peace out.